and welcome to another episode of
J&M Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt, and you are tuning into our annual Memorial Day special.
That's right.
And just as a reminder, Memorial Day is for all of those that had their blank checks cashed. It is for
The ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice.
yes, it is for the veterans that never came home,
Right.
or the veterans that are no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
That we are remembering whether they lost the battle with the demons or they're just no longer with us.
Or just got old.
Yes.
And actually, I'd say most of them, especially the World War II, well, all veterans. I mean,
Yes.
their lives were probably shortened by, if they did live to die of natural causes,
Old age.
their lives were probably shortened by 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was on a NASCAR race here. I can't remember which one it was, but they had a World War II veteran, 101 years old, sing the national anthem.
Oh, that was just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Was it the best version of the national anthem I've ever heard?
No.
No. But he was 101 years old.
Right.
And I thought it was fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty cool,
There's a video on YouTube. It's two POWs talking about what they went through with two different wars.
Mm-hmm.
One was a World War II veteran who was captive for like 6 weeks, I think it was. And one was a Vietnam veteran who was captive for 6 years.
Where was World War II veteran captive? In the Pacific Theater?
No.
He was in
the European.
European?
Yeah. He was a part of a crew on a B-17. And they were shot down like shortly after D-Day. The other guy was in a plane as well. He was, but when they were shot down, it's like as soon as they hit the ground, they were surrounded.
Yeah.
And he said things got different after Ho Chi Minh died.
Better or worse?
They were actually able to correspond with home. And I mean, it was a, I don't know. I can't fathom what it means. But right now, I want to talk about a veteran in your life that is no longer with us, part of the greatest generation, if you will, a World War II veteran, your dad.
Yeah.
Tell us what you know of your dad's service.
Dad was, I don't know if that was the generation or if it was just him. He didn't talk a whole lot about it. He was, my dad went in shortly after D-Day. I don't know, it was like within several days after
Okay.
D-Day. He was
Okay.
part of the 5th Armored Division underneath Bradley, I think was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
their general. But he was in the Battle of the Bulge. Um, he was in on what? I'm trying to remember the name of the concentration camp that they helped liberate. I want to say Buchenwald, but I think that one was in Poland. So,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
it was it Buchenwald or Auschwitz, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Told a little about that, just seeing the people that was in that concentration camp. Didn't
Right.
know how they were still walking around because they were, basically skeletons with skin hanging off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he said one time they were in the Ardennes forest and they started getting mortared. And luckily it had been raining a lot.
Right.
And they were all underneath, because my dad was in a scout jeep
Mm-hmm.
ahead of everything.
Right. Right.
And he said that they started getting mortared, so everybody got out and they was getting underneath their vehicles. And it was so wet that the mortars hit the ground and went thunk in the mud and didn't go off.
Wow.
Yeah, he said it was like right around them. He said if
That's
it had been a little bit drier, yeah, I wouldn't be here.
that's a pucker factor of 15 out of 10.
No shit. Yeah.
Um, being I can relate to that. In Iraq, we got rocketed. In Afghanistan, we got mortared. My first deployment, second deployment, I was so far on the interior of our fob that it didn't really affect us.
Mm-hmm.
Now the guys on the outer lying fobs, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were on what's known as COPS, which is a combat outpost, FOB being a forward operation base.
Right.
Um,
But the cops were further out.
yes,
Yeah.
and they were more small unit.
Right.
Like my first deployment, we had a maneuver platoon, headquarters, part of our mortar platoon, and that was it until we got artillery, and our second maneuver platoon was actually attached to us down in Zormat. Other than that, I mean, our second maneuver platoon was up at Gardez, where the squadron headquarters, which at the time I was part of a light cavalry unit,
Mm-hmm.
and they kept our maneuver platoon up there.
My dad was also, let's say, he was 5th Armored, but he was also part of the 7th Cavalry.
Right, and for those that don't,
in fact, their dress still had the yellow stripe on their
mm-hmm,
pants,
mm-hmm.
which, if people who know anything about history, the 7th Cavalry was wiped out by the Sioux and the Cheyenne nations under Custer.
Right.
Back in the American Indian Wars.
Right. And to this day, well, I don't know about now because they've changed the dress uniform, but when I was still in 14, the non-commissioned officers and above wore a gold stripe down their blue trousers.
Yep.
When I was in the Marine Corps, the NCOs and above wore a red stripe known as a blood stripe on their blues trousers.
Right. Was that for
that
Okinawa?
Was the bloodshed.
The bloodshed, yeah.
That the Marines before us, the battle of the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. But I spent more time in the Army, but I joined the Marine Corps first, and once a Marine, always a Marine, and I earned the title of United States Marine on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But as you know, days like today, Memorial Day,
Mm-hmm.
as this is being released, I've lost quite a few friends that never got to make it home. David Weir, who had a young child. Curtis Oakes, who had a young son and was by far the biggest fucking soldier I ever met in my motherfucking life. When I met
He was
him, he
like
was
Kevin
six.
Nash height, wasn't
When I met him, he was 6'7",
he?
and that's before we went to Iraq in 2005. When he was killed, he was 6'10",
Damn.
285, and they said he was overweight to be a drill sergeant. And the Army height and weight standard stops at 6'6".
Yeah.
At 6'6", they say you can weigh no more than 220 pounds.
Jeez, they want bean poles.
I had a soldier when I was in 1st Battalion 506 Infantry Regiment, the Currahees, Red Currahee, if you will, who was 6'10", 220. And from a distance, yes, you could tell this motherfucker's tall.
Mm-hmm.
He played volleyball for University of Wisconsin-Madison. He was on a volleyball scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He had more missed classes than he had in classes.
Which is kind of weird because back when it was after you had left and went to Arizona, but when Chris and I and Pip was playing up at Fort Leonard Wood,
Yeah.
a lot of them boys I don't think would have met the weight requirement. I mean, because they were like 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", and fucking jacked.
Right.
They looked like they were ready for WWE.
Right. And the unfortunate part with
Braun Breaker looking fucking dudes, it's like, all you do is lift weights and get tattoos when you get paid.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
The unfortunate part with the Army is they like to use the tape method, which is they run a measuring tape around your neck at your Adam's apple.
Right.
And then they run a measuring tape around your waist, like that goes right across your belly button and all the way around. And they're supposed to do that 3 times, and they take the average.
They didn't do the thigh?
No.
Because that's a way to figure body mass. It's like the caliber test.
Yes.
Where you pinch here in the armpit, and then you pinch on the waist, and then you pinch on the inner thigh.
Yep.
Not, I mean,
right.
Obese is obese.
Right.
If you're 6 foot, 285 pounds of solid muscle, that's still considered obese in the body mass index. So, even though your body fat is like
2.
Well, no, 2's not livable, except for one day at a bodybuilding contest. Right. But I'm going to say 8, 7.
Right. Yeah. So when I was in Afghanistan for my first Afghanistan deployment, 08, 09, I had gotten down to 179 pounds, which was still 4 pounds over my max allowable weight for my height.
Yeah.
The tape method said I was 18%. Tape method would go no lower than 18%. Now, I continued on my.
So what if you had like giant pecs from bench
Ah,
pressing and stuff?
hold up. Let me.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting to that.
Explain, Lucy.
So I continued on my workout regimen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got home, we joined a local gym there in Clarksville, Tennessee, and they did the caliper methods.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had put on 15 pounds of pure muscle.
That's a lot.
Oh, shit, bro. That was your phone.
Where did I lay it?
I don't know, but it came through the
It's in my pocket.
microphones. Oh, shit.
God damn it. At least I know the fucking...
The really shitty fucking alcohol is out in the fucking garage.
That's for aid when you don't get my tractor running.
Fuck.
God damn, what you trying to do?
I
Kill
know.
me?
I overfilled it. I'm sorry. And I don't have a paper towel. Oh,
I have a bar towel. How about
hey,
that?
we got a bar towel.
Hold on, let me get the bottom of this glass here.
Yeah.
Salud.
Salo. Yeah, fucking.
Oh. I think my Zippo's about out. I think I just put... What the fuck was that?
No. It was this tequila.
Ah,
Tequila Corello. It's a
Reposado.
reposado. Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, but it's
No.
like, whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I continued on my workout, and I'd gained 115 pounds of
115 pounds?
no, I'm sorry, I'd gained 15 pounds of
Okay.
muscle.
I was going
So
to say, God damn.
I got home and I was weighing in at 195 pounds, but 17.75% body fat. So explain to me how I was able to gain, 16 pounds, but lose a quarter pound or a quarter percent of body fat.
Muscle weighs more than fat?
No, I get that. But instead of doing a tape method, they did the calipers.
The calipers. Well, they was getting the excess.
Yeah.
The only true way of getting your body fat count is in the salt water. When they weigh you in the salt water, I can't remember what they exactly call that.
Mm-hmm.
But you lay in there in the salt water and everything, and it weighs basically your bones and your muscle mass because fat floats.
Right.
And that's the truest way of getting that.
Right.
But finding a facility that has that,
Oh yeah, the Army's not going to fucking use
No,
that. They're
yeah.
not even going to do the calipers.
yeah.
And to be honest, they never even did the.
Don't they even pinch your biceps and stuff?
Nope.
No, I mean on the caliper test.
Yeah, the caliper test is the bicep, the waist, and the thigh.
They don't do the under the arm. Okay. I was watching Jeff Cavalier was showing that one time on
Right.
body mass. Well, see, like according to the body mass scale, at 6 foot, I used to be 6'2". I'm probably closer to 6'1.5" now because I'm fucking old. And I got all my vertebrae compressed in a motorcycle wreck. But, we could go on.
I concur.
My ideal weight is supposed to be 185 pounds. I'd be a skinny motherfucker at 185 pounds.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I feel, I mean, I can lose a little bit around my belly. But I'm at like 215 now.
Right.
Which I was up at damn near at 260 at one point. And laying in bed, I'm looking down, and I still had a gut. I'm going, I got to do something about this.
Right.
So I just changed my eating style a little bit. I still eat whatever the fuck I want. I just, if I know we're going out for a big dinner, like Thanksgiving, or we're meeting friends at Smith's or something,
Right,
and I
right.
know I'm gonna eat a fucking tenderloin sandwich, you know, that day I don't eat a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I'm not calorie counting, and I try to eat as clean as I possibly can. Um, like here lately, I've been taking my own lunch instead of going and getting a burger and fries every day,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But even doing that, I'd like, okay, I ate a burger and fries, so I need to eat really fucking clean when I get home.
Right.
You know, I need to have, you know, if I eat a burger, I need to eat a burger and not the bread and all the other shit to go
Right.
with it.
Right.
Need to throw some veggies in there,
You know, and I've been
and
doing the same thing. Uh, my biggest portion of the meal, and yes, I'll make 2 sandwiches that I take to work. You know, it's either the honey wheat
mm-hmm,
or the Hawaiian bread,
right
and it's always turkey.
there
Uh,
you go.
I eat a lot more carrots and peanut butter than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it. I know because I do drink at least 1 soda a day. Um,
That's a biggie because you were
it,
drinking several.
it is. But, you know, I've switched off of the sodas to like um, an Arnold Palmer Light Arizona iced tea, which is 80 calories per can versus, 180.
Right. I'm gonna say almost 200 calories.
Right.
Yeah.
But enough about my diet.
Back on the Memorial Day.
What
Memorial Day is also a day that everybody, whether they're veterans or not, honors their dead.
yes.
You know, you're like my mother and
Mm-hmm.
my brother, my father.
Um,
The older we get, the longer that list gets.
right.
But that's decoration at most cemeteries.
Yep.
Whether you do it on the day over at Star Ridge, where my mom and dad, my grandparents are buried, it's like the week before,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But it's just kind of it's a memorial of the people that we've had in our lives that we
Right.
honor on this day. We should honor them every day, but it's just the time you go put flowers on their graves.
Right. And what I like to educate people on, because this has happened in the past to me. People will wish me a happy Memorial Day, and it's like Memorial Day is not for me.
Mm-hmm. I'm still
For
alive.
for myself, my day is Veterans Day
Right.
because there's a Memorial Day, which you memorialize those that made this ultimate sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have an active duty day. And then you have Veterans Day. Your active duty day is generally the birthday of the branch of service. The Army's is June 14th. The Nation, we celebrate on June 4th or July 4th. Too many J's.
Too many J's.
And then I don't know when the Navy or the Air Force's is,
But the Marine Corps.
because the Marine Corps is November 10th,
Okay.
and then November 11th
What
is
about what about Space Force?
who gives a shit? For me, November.
Sorry, Don.
Yeah,
He don't give a shit.
that week of November, the 10th, 11th, and 12th, that is a big day for myself.
Mm-hmm.
November 10th. Well, that is the Marine Corps' birthday.
Mm-hmm.
The only branch of the service that was born in a fucking bar. Tun Tavern, Pennsylvania, November 10th, 1775.
So you celebrate that with an Iwo Jima shot every year?
No.
Because you can't find 151 Bacardi anymore.
Exactly. November 11th is Veterans Day. And then November 12th is my daughter's birthday.
There you go. I got to tell a little
And then,
story. I got to tell a little
November
story.
13th
Okay.
is the anniversary of me graduating from boot camp, earning the title of United States Marine in 1992.
I got to tell a little story about this fucking guy.
This guy?
This fucking guy. He was out of the Marine Corps, and we were in a band together. You've all heard our music on our intro and outro called Blindside.
Apparently, it's on Spotify now.
Is it on Spotify now?
I don't know.
Did Aiden upload it?
That's what the boys are saying. They
Sweet.
uploaded Blindside, Want You Some, Get You Some on Spotify.
So check it out. I mean, we wrote this shit almost 30 years ago, but I think it still holds up.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're out at the Southern Star, the place we played our first gig. I mean, this wasn't our first gig. This was on down the road a while. And he'd been to a Marine Corps ball.
Marine Corps birthday ball.
He comes walking up. He goes, "Dude, you need to try an Iwo Jima shot." I'm like, okay. Because I've always been the type of guy, I don't know if you've noticed, that I'll try anything once. So Barbara pours this shot of 151 Bacardi, puts 6 drops of Tabasco sauce in this motherfucker. There you go. It's like, all right. At 151, burn started. And that Tabasco kicked in. It was like, where's my fucking beer?
Right, right.
But explain what that shot is and
Okay.
what all the ingredients mean.
So the Iwo Jima shot, the 151 represents the hardship that Marines had taking the beach of Iwo Jima. The 6 drops of Tabasco represents the 6 Marines and 1 sailor that raised the famous flag raising at Iwo Jima. But the Tabasco represents the bloodshed that the United States took to take that island. And
we can go into, I don't remember the numbers of men we lost in Iwo Jima, but it was thousands.
yes,
And a lot of people who were critical of Truman's decision to drop the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
yep,
which killed over 100,000 people in each bombing.
yes,
But there's been people who talked about the numbers that if we'd have continued the island hopping campaign from one island to the next island, to the next island, to the next island, until we finally got to Tokyo, the number of lives that would have been lost would have been far greater on both sides
yes.
than those 2 bombs. Now, there's other people out there that said, well, we didn't have to drop the bombs because the Russians, because the war in Germany was over, were getting ready to invade Japan from the other side, and they were about ready to surrender anyway.
Well,
But here's what we know about the Japanese. They fought to the death.
yes.
If they were
Death before dishonor.
dug in on an island, they were not going to quit until they were dead. That was something we hadn't faced since the Native American Wars,
Right,
because the Native Americans fought the same way.
right,
The Comanche, the Sioux, the Cheyenne. If they went into a battle and said, this ain't going to work out for us, they'd just leave.
right.
But once the battle started, they weren't giving up. They weren't going to surrender, and that's why our troops that did get captured by the Japanese, the Bataan Death March, and all that stuff, the reason they were treated so brutally was because in their um, philosophy or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
if you surrendered, you were a lesser human, and they treated you as such.
There was only one group from World War II that surrendered that got the utmost respect from the Emperor of Japan. And that was the Marines, sailors, and civilians
Yeah.
from Midway.
Yeah.
Because Midway
they
was
had-
the first stop after Pearl. And Midway knew nothing about Pearl.
Right.
And they fought tooth and fucking nail.
There was what, 160 some of them?
Yes. It was a low fucking
It was
number.
a low fucking number.
And it was
And they fought off the Japanese for weeks, wasn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
They held off their first volley of artillery until the Japanese got within that range, and they decimated them. And that would go back and forth. And the Marines on Midway, they had very few planes at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kept getting smaller and smaller. And when the Japanese finally got to the island, the Marines, the
Developed a
sailors, and the
beachhead.
civilians fought with such tenacity
Mm-hmm.
that because at that time the Japanese didn't take prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
It was when they finally took the island. The Japanese emperor saw the Marines, the sailors, and the civilians at Midway as being such amazing warriors
Mm-hmm.
that he did not kill them.
Yeah, it was an honor thing.
Yes, because
Because you look at the European campaigns and stuff, hell, they'd stop for tea.
yeah, well that
You
was
know?
that was World War One.
No, they stopped for Christmas at World War One.
Well, and
They
they
also stopped.
They also stopped for tea because both sides, the Germans and the British, they recognized tea. But
During World War One, the Germans and the Russians, they stopped. They called a ceasefire because it's trench warfare.
yes,
Because the wolves were coming in because of the smell of blood
mm-hmm.
and were attacking and killing soldiers on both sides.
Right,
So they decided, hey, let's quit killing each other for a little bit. Let's kill these fucking wolves. And they done that. And then, okay, now we can start fighting again.
right.
But there was in the European theater, there was a code of honor about warfare.
To a certain
To a
point.
point. I mean,
Yes.
the Nazis are like, yeah, fuck you. But there was still
There was
a code of honor. But
right.
But against the Japanese, it's like, okay, we're fighting the Indians again. We forgot how to do this shit.
Well, on the Pacific Theater, the Japanese, because the Pacific Theater had the code talkers,
Mm-hmm.
the Navajo code talkers.
Right.
Well, the Navajo looked a lot like the Japanese at that
Yep.
time. And the Japanese would kill the code talkers before they would kill the
And that's
white
why
man.
and that's why each code talker had a specific soldier assigned to them
yes.
to protect them.
Right.
And if he couldn't protect them and they were going to get captured, he had to kill him.
Right.
Just so the Japanese couldn't get the code.
Whereas in the European theater, one of the biggest ploys fake outs, if you will, that we did
D-Day.
on the Germans was the inflatable tanks
Right.
and everything that we had set up.
Because everybody thought that Patton
Yes.
was going to lead D-Day.
Yes.
And they put him out there with inflatable tanks and artillery and everything. And they thought, oh, shit, they're militarizing. There's Patton. But the whole time we were down here going, nope, we're going to invade over
Right. Onto the beaches.
of Normandy.
I know a couple of guys that have done the memorial jumps at Normandy. And one of the guys got to jump with Pee Wee Martin, which Pee Wee Martin was a significant character in Band of Brothers. He was part of Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506 Infantry Regiment. And at the age of, I'm wanting to say 96, I may be wrong, I don't know. At the age of 96, he put on the exact same gear as he wore on D-Day and did that jump one more time.
Wow.
An active duty soldier asked him as he was getting on to the C-17, can I get your, can I help you with your bag? And Pee Wee Martin said, who is no longer with us, but he said, son, you ain't got enough strength to carry the sack of my balls.
My testicular fortitude.
And he jumped out of that plane, or as those of us that have never done that, he fell out of that plane, because
That's what you do.
a military jump, yeah, that's all you do, unless you're doing a halo. But that's all you do, is you just kind of fall out of the plane, and
whoop.
yeah, the plane pulls your chute. But it was just a simple fact that here's this 96-year-old man who jumped on D-Day and is doing the exact same jump.
Was he solo?
Yes.
Wow.
He was solo. The parachute obviously was updated, but
it took him down a little softer.
Right.
Yeah.
The gear that he wore was the exact same gear that he jumped on D-Day in.
You know what that tells you? They made clothes to last back in the fucking 40s. That wool was about 1/4 inch fucking thick. It stopped 22s.
Yeah. These are the same guys that ran Mount Currahee in Toccoa, Georgia. 3 miles up, 3 miles down. Currahee.
Currahee. Salute. Another story. I think I've brought this up on probably one of our other Memorial Day podcasts, but Dad talked about when he was coming home after, because they got told to stop at the Elbe River.
Right.
To wait for the Russians. And that's basically where they were going to divide Germany. That's where East and West Germany was, at the Elbe River. But so they stopped there and they met the Russians, and Dad had nothing bad to say about the Russians, or the Soviets as they were.
Right.
They traded back and forth. They wanted American chocolate, and the Americans wanted vodka, which, the Russians had plenty of vodka, and the Americans had plenty of chocolate. But anyway, he said they were on their way back, and he was on the Queen Mary.
Ah, there it is.
Okay. And they were heading for the Panama Canal to head to Hawaii to start the jump off of the island hopping campaign.
Right.
He said about halfway across the Atlantic, he said, he heard this hollering and screaming, and he's like, "What the fuck? Is there a German sub out here that just torpedoed us? That, doesn't know the war's over?" He got out deck and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" He's like, "Well," he said, we dropped this bomb and destroyed a whole city in Japan. The war's over." And he's like, "There ain't no fucking bomb that can destroy a whole fucking city." So they diverted them to Maryland, I want to say.
Okay.
And they got there and they had this big debriefing and they had this big dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And they told them, it was like, "Okay, here's the deal. All the people that are serving you were captured German soldiers."
Right.
And Dad's like, "Okay." So they're sitting there, and the guy serving his table was one that he had captured.
Wow.
And and they told him, "You do not talk to these guys. They're just here to serve you." And Dad started talking to this guy. And my dad was a PFC.
Right.
He said he could have made higher rank, but he didn't want it. Because in Battlefield, you can make rank real fucking quick, as people fall.
Back in the day, yes.
Yes. But he said he started talking to this guy, and somebody came up and said, "You ain't supposed to talk to him." It's like, "Look, I captured this guy. I can talk to him if I want to." And he talked to him, and he was happy as fuck to be in the United States.
Right.
And that goes back to that 32 automatic pistol I have. Dad was showing it to me, and he said, "Yeah." I said, "How'd you get that?" And he goes, "Well, I requested it. Well, probably 10 years ago, when Google was getting to be really good, I Googled the serial number on it."
Right.
It was an Austrian-made pistol, and it had a JVM, I think, on it. I'd have to look at it again. But anyway, that meant it was carried by a Nazi soldier. So I'm like, "Okay." And my brother and I have talked about it, and he said, "I think, Dad," because I asked him, I said, "How come you didn't get a Luger?"
Right.
The 9mm Luger,
Right.
And he said, "Well, so if you got caught and you had one of those, they knew you had killed an officer, and it was going to be kind of hard on you." But then my brother told me, he's like, "I remember growing up as a kid, I think we had like 3 of them." I'm like, he said, "Dad must have sold them or something." I'm like, "Well, I had never seen a Luger, because I would have."
You would have remembered that.
I'd have remembered that.
Yeah.
Which that 32 automatic was probably a better pistol, because that Luger, if you got 1 grain of fucking dirt in it, it wouldn't work.
Right. Right.
That's why they had that flap over the top of them to keep them clean.
Yep.
But it was a cool. I mean, you see that at a fucking gun show today, and they're bringing $1,000, $1,500, $2,000.
Yeah. And the difference between a collector gun and a collector car. A collector gun, to refurbish it, a couple of hundred, couple of thousand. But it's going to bring you, depending on the history of it, it's going to bring you tens of thousands of dollars. Whereas a collector car, you've got the barn finds that go for $100,000. Numbers matching.
Yeah, and then you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars on rebuilding it.
Then you've got like Gas Monkey did with VIN number 1 and VIN number 2 Firebirds. And, they, with man hours and everything they put into them, plus what they paid for them, they were probably sitting at $75,000 a piece. And they sold for...
They made wages.
Right. They sold for like 150 to $200,000.
Well, it's like there's a place in Buffalo called Premier that does restorations and shit, and they done a '64 Impala.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember all the logistics of it. I think it was a 327, da da da. Da. But they redone the whole thing,
Right.
motor, transmission. They got a rotisserie. I mean, they done the whole fucking thing. They took it out to Barrett Jackson, and it brought like 225.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, "Oh, you guys are fucking rich now." I was like, "No, we just barely made wages on that fucking car."
Right. Because well, and
I mean, because that's a lot of fucking time.
oh yeah, to like Graveyard Cars. Pretty good show if you're a Mopar fan. Um, all they do is Mopar, but
My,
they put like if the factory specs called for a certain screw in this place, they're gonna put that screw in that place. The paint code calls for I can't remember what the green name was. Because I mean, you had Plum Crazy Purple.
Ox, oh, um, Seafoam,
Yeah,
Seafoam Blue, or
Seafoam
Seafoam
Green,
Green.
or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
But they're gonna go for the paint code from that era, not the paint code now. And I mean, they're gonna do a restoration, not a resto mod.
Mm,
And yeah, you may put $100,000 into this car, and it's worth
two,
it, it's
maybe.
it's worth
It's
whatever
worth somebody's
somebody
willing
is
to pay
willing
for
to
it.
pay.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. But I digress.
That's it's like there was a girl at a local convenience store, and she had a Dodge. It was a newer car. It was a little Dodge car.
Right.
It was white.
Okay.
And she goes, yeah. She goes, I'd really like it to be blue or whatever. And I said, I'm in the business to make money, but you would be better off to trade that car in on the same car in the color you want it to
Mm-hmm.
than have me change the color on it.
Right.
Because you're going to spend a whole hell of a lot more money because people don't realize you got to take the doors apart, you take the hood off, the trunk lid off, or the rear hatch or whatever you got.
Mm-hmm.
And to do it right, you got to tear that shit all the way down
Yep.
to where you have no signs of that other color ever existing.
Right.
Then you got to do the outside.
Yes.
I mean, just a complete paint job on the outside is going to run you $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay. Now, before we get back to it, let's say like a 92 F-150
Mm-hmm.
that's got the door card and you still see the color of the metal and everything. Would it be more expensive to do a 100% color change on like a 92 F-150 or a 2014 F-150? Where the 2014 has bigger door cards, you have less metal on the inside than you do on like a 92.
You still tear it all apart. Take all that inner plastic and everything off, and because when I do used doors,
Mm-hmm.
if I get a white door for a charcoal fucking SUV or F-150 or whatever it is, I take that thing, I take everything apart, including, take the glass out, take everything off of it. I paint the inside of the door,
Mm-hmm.
then hang it back on there, and then depending on you know, if I'm straightening the rear door or whatever, or putting the fender on it or whatever, paint the outside, and then put it all back together. So
Okay.
it's the same difference.
Okay. Um, getting back
Labor-wise.
to the Memorial Day special, number one for myself, um, I like to think of David Thomas Weir. He was one of my fisters that I lost in Iraq, 0506. William Hasenflu, which former Navy before joining the Army. He was actually buried at sea. We lost him on the 8-9 deployment to Afghanistan. We also lost a couple of Cav Scouts, infantry guys. Either way, the non-fisters. And then on my last deployment, Curtis Allen Oakes, the largest soldier I ever had the pleasure of serving with.
Might have had a hell of a WWE career if he'd have survived.
Oh my God, 6'10", 285. He would have made the most amazing drill sergeant. You get off the bus and you see this fucking giant of a man.
Imagine him and Nash tagging together.
Oh,
Because Nash was in the military.
yes. Kevin Nash was an infantryman, or I'm sorry, military police in Germany.
Imagine fucking up at the bar and Kevin Nash
Oh my
coming and getting
God.
your ass.
Because he was 6'11" 3/4 when he was in the Army. And then of course WWF, WWE would never bill somebody bigger than Andre the Giant.
Well, he wasn't bigger.
Right, but I mean, everybody that came after.
Right.
I mean, Paul White, the Big Show.
Yeah, he was listed as 7-footer, but not ever a 7'4".
No, and he was all of 7'4".
Although, and here we're going down a wrestling deal on a fucking Memorial Day podcast. The Giant Gonzalez was listed at 7'6", 7'7".
Yeah, but I mean,
But he sucked.
yeah, he did. But I know I know the units that I have I deployed with in Iraq and Afghanistan, both deployments. Zayas, Weir, Hasenflu, Trimble, Kimball, Oaks, Bird, McKenich, Solo, Zimmerman, Pierce. Those guys are they're with me every night, and as this is being released on Memorial Day, I want to remind everybody that star 988, that's star 988, that is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. There is someone there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 or 366 days, depending on leap year, They
But
are
if
there.
you feel like nobody is there for you, call 988
Star
star
988.
988. There's somebody that will listen. We have talked about this many a times. There's no reason to have a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Yes.
No reason. My great grandma used to say it always gets darkest before the dawn. Live to see that dawn. Live to prove those motherfuckers wrong, if that's what it is. Live to shove it in their face, whether it be an ex-wife, an ex-husband, or whatever. If you take that permanent solution to a temporary problem, they win. So
And it's not regardless of how you think people see you. It's it's never the problem. Um, and the best part about star 988, they don't judge because they don't know you. And anybody that's been
I
into a
wish
bar will
I
tell you that it's easier to talk to a perfect stranger, a bartender, than it is to talk to your best friend in the world.
bartender's been the psychologist for hundreds of years. I wish, and I'm not going to, give out my number because I would love to talk to you. But
Yes.
I can't do that. I can't not, there's just, no, I can't do that. And
You
I'm
have a
sorry.
job,
I got a job.
and I've got a job.
And you got a job, hopefully.
You
You're cursed.
are job.
But yeah, I mean, I had a friend of mine years ago, and this was a bad old deal. There was a fire happened in Bolivar. And I say a friend of mine, he was an acquaintance. I see him at the
Right.
bar every weekend.
Right.
Him and his brother played pool. We spoke. We got along.
Mm-hmm.
I considered him a friend. I mean, he wasn't like a hanging out buddy or nothing, but I knew the guy.
An acquaintance.
Yeah,
Okay.
acquaintance that I see every weekend.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing, Bob? Or whatever the fuck his name was. I don't even remember now. But anyway,
Billy Joe, Jim Bob Jack.
there was a fire in Bolivar,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple kids died.
Mm.
Yeah. And I went out to the bar. I was working, and he come up and said, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good. How you doing?" He's like, "Well, not very good." Goes, "Did you hear about that fire that killed those kids?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Those were my kids." And his ex-wife got out of the fire, and the kids died. He told me, he's like, and I'm like, "Dude, that's fucking rough, man. I am so sorry." And he goes, "Well, I'm just thinking about killing myself." And I looked at him straight in the eye, and I was like, "Dude, if you do that, I will not be at your fucking funeral." He goes, "Well, that's pretty fucking harsh." I'm like, "Yeah. Because you do that, you let that fucking bitch win. Why wouldn't you want to be a pain in her ass for the rest of your life?" Well, I never thought about it like that. I'm like, Well, you kill yourself, that's the easy way out. As far as I know, this was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he's still alive.
That's
So,
what matters.
I mean, tough love.
Yes.
You know, but I've been to 2 suicide funerals. They're rough, man.
Yes.
They're fucking rough. The first one I was at was my half nephew up in Kansas City. And
Was
we're
it
not,
the upper half or the lower half?
well, he was my half brother's son.
Okay.
My brother, whose father and I shared the father, but had a different mother.
Okay.
Since I
Okay.
gotta explain it all out to you.
Okay.
I know, get a little comedy in. Yeah.
Daddy was a Rolling Stone.
No, he was married to this woman before he went and fought in Germany. And,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. So anyway,
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
back at the ranch, that was rough. But he'd had a car wreck earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It had a severe head trauma, so we're kind of hoping that was the reason, maybe. But he was in all kinds of debt and shit, and it was a bad old deal. And the second one I went to was a cousin of Ann's. Her son had committed suicide.
Mm.
And the only reason we went was to support her cousin.
Right.
It's tough because in my Christian teachings, suicide, you don't make it to heaven.
Right.
Because you can't ask forgiveness after that. I've heard other people say, well, once you're saved, you can like commit. I don't know. It's just tough. It's just, I mean, you can tell the preachers had a tough time saying, well, they're in a better place. Are you sure? You know.
It's one thing for
I know a lot of people that are sitting here that's listened to this podcast for a while and heard me say my Christian teachings. It went,
Yes.
what?
Yeah, exactly.
Profanity has nothing to do with Christianity, by the way.
But on that note, I would like to take this moment to raise my glass to David T. Weir, William Hasenflu, Curtis Allen Oakes, those guys that I personally knew, Jordan Bird, and the one man I never got a chance to meet, your father, Herbert
Harold Stewart.
Harold Stewart.
Yep.
We raise this glass to you, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we could never fill that hole. Salud.
Salud.
But you have just watched another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents.
J&M Solve the World. I have been James.
And I have been Matt. And until next time, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Is it there?
Yes, it's there.